Good morning. I hope everyone's having a good day. I wanted to come on today and hopefully get this wrapped up. I'm working on a 4th of July insert for my interchangeable bench. And if you've been following this series, this is where we left off yesterday. We finished this hat. Now, something I did notice after it was all said and done, these were actually a little bit too long, the stems of these fireworks. So I went ahead and adjusted the file. And that's one good thing about doing this is, you know, you realize something after it's all said and done. So this has been corrected, but I am absolutely loving this. I mean, this insert is just beautiful. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. And I'm gonna probably turn some of these into shelf sitters, and I'm actually thinking about, doing a tier tray. So we'll see, but I am absolutely loving this 4th of July. If you're into Americana, rustic, patriotic, type of feel for your decor, this is something that you're going to want. Now, this is the last insert that we have, and it's a sign. I went ahead and painted this off camera, and here's the reason why. I knew it was going to be a little time consuming. I needed to let it dry. So let me just briefly tell you what I did. Is I took the light buttermilk, and I just used a sponge and went over the whole entire thing. And I let it dry really, really good. And then I kind of went back and sanded a little bit here and there. And then what I did was I took the antique white and a wet wipe, and just kind of went over it lightly to get the color that I was after. And then I just kind of dry brushed a little bit of white here and there. So this is where we left off. There is a frame that goes over this, and I'm kind of thinking I'm going to paint this antique white. And depending on what it looks like just with the antique white, I might leave it go at that. Or I might try and do a wash of honey brown just to darken it up a little bit. So, also too, we have the banner. So I'm going to be bebopping around here a lot today. So, let's go ahead and get started. I hope everyone's having a good day. It has been rainy, rainy, rainy. And flooding out my way. I hope the weather's not too bad where you're at. And it's supposed to get pretty cold, I guess. I don't know. So, I know I'm going to make this red and white stripes only. And then the other part of this, I'm going to do blue with the white stars. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my sponge and kind of go over where the white stripes would be. I thought about even doing like blue stars, but So I'm just lightly going to go over with my sponge, and I'll probably go back and use a brush for these stripes. It just makes it easier and get better paint coverage. Yeah, I have a lot of Americana stuff. I'm into Americana. I'm into like primitive decor, farmhouse decor, very rustic. That's just my thing. I've liked that type of decor for many, many years. So, and I don't see myself changing anytime soon. Now I went ahead and painted, repainted the wording white to white, and then went back and shaded with some antique white. Just so it would I need to do this, redo this sticky board. It's in bad shape. Not good. Just so it would stand out a little bit. And I just might do these stars kind of not all the way painted. I don't know. We'll see. The struggle is real. I should have redid this board before coming live. But having one of these boards just it just makes painting easier, my opinion. I won't be gluing this one star over the middle, but I thought, why not just paint it just in case. Because everybody can have an oops moment when it comes to gluing. I've had them. Yeah, I'd like to start creating some tiered tray stuff. I have a tiered tray, and I have a couple of them. One I actually created with material I used from the Dollar Tree, and I absolutely love it. It's very farmhouse. And how I did that was by using pizza pans. I think it was a pie pan, maybe a cake pan. But what I did was I sanded the metal really, really good. And then I, that roughs up the surface. And then I painted it all black. And then went and dry brushed like a cream colored, almost like a light buttermilk. And I absolutely love it. And then I actually did a flat tray that I stick things on as well. Now I do have a YouTube channel. If you're new here, it's called Elevita Designs. Please subscribe. All my painting tutorials are on YouTube. Facebook has made changes to how long you're allowed to have your live videos up. And so I was going to create a YouTube channel anyways, and this just gave me the incentive to do that. So all my painting tutorials are categorized by series, and each series has a different amount of videos. I've been trying to lessen the time I'm on painting, doing a video, trying to keep it at 2 to 2.5 hours. All my series that are complete on the playlist, good morning, will have a picture of the finished product that I was working on. And if there's something that I'm currently working on, the thumbnail for that particular video on YouTube will just show photo coming soon. So that kind of lets you know that that's what I'm working on. It's not complete yet. So that also helps, you know, you as, you know, if you're into watching videos or if you just want to learn, you'll know ahead of time what it is. And I think I might shade down the side of these stripes. Something I thought about doing was doing a wash on this as well, just to make it look a little bit more antique. I don't know if that's what I'll do. Sometimes you have an idea for something and then you go and do it and it's like, ew. But I do have another one of these, and I might see what that looks like just by putting, probably use honey brown is what I would do. I don't know. Because you gotta remember I'm putting red on there, so I have to take that into consideration as I put another color on. So I'll put some red on here just out of curiosity as I'm doing this, and see how that's really gonna look. I think I might just go over these just a little bit more. And then I'm gonna shade them. And I'm gonna fight with them. Now this trio of stars, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna place at the top of the frame. That's my thought on that. You don't have to, but I thought that would just kind of embellish the frame a little bit. So that is my thoughts. And I'm going to paint this antique white. And then we'll see how that is against the background. It might not end up being dark enough. I don't know. We'll see. And I'll probably sand around the edges of this just to distress it a little bit. it's gonna be a bark fest. Brizzy's not happy. We had 5 baby cows out yesterday. Last week there was one out by the road. But I happened to be downstairs and I looked out and here they come from around the building. And then they disappeared. They were kind of in the barn. I don't... So I had to get in touch with the farmhand. What was funny is as soon as the farmhand come down the driveway, they took off running. Well, let's just kind of get the whole picture. I'm a visual type of person, so I like to see everything. I think I might sand those, though, just to see. I want to let my paint dry pretty good before I start sanding. So I think what I'll do is I'll just shade the bottom of this. I might shade the top, we'll see. I'm kind of just walking up the float just to make it a lighter shade. And what I mean by walking the float is I start right here at the edge and then I move my brush upwards. And without really lifting my brush all that much. And that just kind of makes that float wider. Because I don't have a whole lot of paint on my brush. I'm going to do the same for these stars. And what I've just been doing is shading like the bottom. Like the bottom 2 points. Kind of walking it up. And I'm not putting a whole lot of paint on. I'd rather go back and add. That's how I approach my highlighting and shading. I mean, if I get too much on there, there's ways of fixing it, but I kind of approach everything. You can add, but you can't take away. You know what? The more I think about it, I think I am going to go just over the top lightly. Not bring it down as far. Hello. Make it a little bit lighter than what the bottom would be. sand this kind of quickly. What I'm going to do is like go around the outside edge and the corners. I need a better grit. Just trying to rough it up a little bit. And I don't like to sand anything over my work area because then you get all that dust and it gets on your surface, gets in your paint. Some of it you can see and some of it you can't. Which really makes me think I want to really lightly go over this with some honey brown. I just think that would, I don't know. Help make it pop. So it's either going to be a good idea or bad. So we'll see. I'm just putting a little bit of paint on there. I mean, very minimal. I'm just kind of rubbing with the grain. Because I don't want it to be real drastic. That's too much. That's more than what I would have wanted. But that just kind of, what that does is it kind of gets in the grain, one. And then where I did sand, it kind of gets in those areas as well. So it definitely changes. It gives it a reddish cast. So I'm okay with that. All right. You just gotta be willing to try new things. All right, I'm gonna use Country Red to paint these stripes. And then I'm actually gonna paint my firecracker this time around blue, even though it's gonna be down by the word blue. I'm gonna paint it blue. Yeah, I don't like these synthetic brushes. Don't like them at all. I probably would never purchase them again. And I think, I'm going to shade down the sides of this red. I don't think I'm going to do it for that. Light buttermilk. I'm flirting with disaster here. I'm peeing, I'm hurrying. I feel that when I hurry painting, I get sloppy. And, it's just not the type of painter I am. I just don't feel these brushes hold the paint all that well. So I wouldn't purchase these again. But I wanted to try something different, and okay. You don't know unless you try. I do not know what he is whining about. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the camera, but Chrissy's very vocal today. Oh, that's too much paint. Holy smokes. I need to get a little closer. Hello. Hello. This red always takes a good couple coats. I always like to make sure I do a solid base coat. I don't really care for blotchy, and some colors are worse than others, especially this red. And it's hard to see it in the camera, but you can see like lighter colors of red in this stripe. Because I didn't get enough paint on there. Somebody is here. I mean, you have to have water in your paint to help make your paintbrush flow. Boy, is this paint drying quick too. Ugh. It's like pudding. Hey, Lori. You guys busy? She must be busy. And then what I want these trio stars is to be red, white, and blue. So I'm going to just paint. I have too much water on my brush. This left star red. I don't care that I'm getting in the white in that middle one, because I am going to glue a star over top. And I think I'm going to paint these little circular parts of the firecracker this red as well. Okay, Lori, you too. It's not raining where I'm at, so hopefully it's not flooding your way. Be careful driving home today, because it's flooded here. A lot of flooding out my way, a lot of roads closed. And why people ignore that a road is closed due to high water is beyond me. And it happened sitting on the roof of their car because they drove through water because the road was closed, and it always floods there, and it floods high. And they started giving $2,000 fines, as they should. I mean, it was flooding in areas that it never floods yesterday. And we're not out of the woods yet. Don't understand it. I do not. See, and this is another thing I don't like about these brushes. I don't know if you can see the camera, but, you know, it's synthetic. So what it looks like before you have paint on it is like this. Okay. I've cleaned this. It's pink. So I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, I don't know. Not my thing. All right. Take some black plum and do a little shading. And I don't think I'm going to do any highlighting on that. I'll probably go over that a little bit better. Try my best to avoid getting color in that area. Well, that's a little bit darker than what I wanted, so let's darken this up. And I'm hitting that area. Whoa. Did I do it darling and not blend it? Now I think on this, I'll probably go around the outside edge, just so it kind of pulls everything together. Because I think it'll look kind of maybe strange, just having the top and bottom shaded and not the outside edge. I don't know if I'll go down that middle stripe or not. like on the edge. I talked about doing that, but I don't know if I will or not. Yeah, just see how that looks incomplete. So I am gonna take and just shade around the outside. See how that looks. And then I might go down that center stripe. We'll see. See how that kind of just like pulls it together a little bit more than like this is right here. And I might go over that edge a little bit more because the one side's a little bit darker. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking I need to go down that middle, at least on one side. So next weekend starts the Masters. And I don't know if I'll be on next weekend because I love to watch the Masters. And it's always the weekend of my birthday. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go down one side. So hopefully I can get a very thin float. And I'm actually going to just I'm kind of tilting my brush a little bit. I might actually end up going down both sides, we'll see. Because it looks kind of off. Well, that went over farther than what I wanted. don't know. Something tells me maybe both sides of the stripe if I can get a thin enough float. And that's what I'm going to do. You can barely see it, but it's light enough to make a difference. It's kind of hard to explain. Whoa, no. Start that again. Nope. Yeah, it just changes the way this looks. One stripe's a little bit darker than what I would like, but it is what it is. I'm barely putting any paint on my brush. Here's what I don't like that. So let me try that again. Try and get closer. Better. It just kind of gives it a rustic feel. Okay, I need to empty my water because my water looks like strawberry milk. And when I come back, we're gonna do the blue portion of this banner, that firecracker, and then this is done. It's just a matter of gluing it all together. Now I will go ahead and string my banner off camera. I won't do it on camera. But the key to that is I like to use jute, and everyone has their own preference of, you know, how low your banner is gonna, just hang. So it has to be a personal preference. I personally like it hanging a little bit lower. So I always like to take more jute twine than I need. Because I'd rather have too much than not enough. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So that's just how I operate. But I get my jute twine off of Amazon. And it's a little bit thicker. But and this is real, rustic looking as well. So it's going to just also help with the look I'm going for. So let me empty my water and I will be back and we'll get this wrapped up. We might have this wrapped up maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30. So hopefully you stick around. carry on. If I can get my chair moved in. All right. So I'm going to use a color called Uniform Blue. And it's retired. But I was looking to see what is all needed to make this color. And the formula is 2 parts black plum. 1 part Prussian blue. And I believe the other color you need is 1 part driftwood. So how I would go about making this color is I would get a bigger bottle, because these little bottles are 2 ounces. So I would just use full bottles. That would get me the equal portions that I need. So you would have a total of, 2, 4, 6, 8 ounces. Which is the size of paint. That's a big bottle. Because I use this color a lot. It's the perfect color for the Americana look. It's the perfect color. So I'm thinking about doing that. I should have looked, because I would have bought the paint at Hobby Lobby if they had it. I don't know if they have that Prussian blue. I don't recall seeing that because I looked at all their bottles of paint. I know they have the black plum, which is very popular, and I don't know if they have that driftwood. So for $4 plus tax, because they always have, they offer the decor paint for 99 cents. You could have an 8-ounce container of this. Which is a pretty good deal, if you want my opinion. So I might look into that. I would just have to find an 8-ounce container that I could pour it all in. Because I am on my last bottle. And I use this color a lot. Okay. And then I'm gonna probably shade around the edges of this. Because it'll look, I think, kind of weird next to the others. Especially when there's shading on there. So I'm just going to use Williamsburg blue to highlight. What I'm going to do is highlight around where this red is. And then at the top of the firecracker. It's a little bit brighter than what I wanted. Need to go over that again, period. It looks terrible. So let that dry a little bit. So that's definitely not the look I wanted. Also, too, what you can do is if you're having trouble floating, you can dampen your surface, and that'll help. So that's another thing you can do. Plus, there's blending mediums out there that help. I just want that top to be pretty light. I use a mop brush to kind of mellow it out, which is not technically correct, but that's what I do. So I'm going to use my Payne's Gray and a flat brush and go around the outside edges. And then this is complete. Just got to go around the bottom of that firecracker and star. And this is ready to glue. if you're using a flat brush and you're using a darker color and you're kind of wondering, where did I have the paint? I always dip my brush back in to get more water, but there's still paint in there, okay? So if you, I don't know if you can see this in the camera or not, but there's paint right there. So that tells me that's the side that I want to dip my brush in, the paint. I never really clean my brush real well while I'm floating. I'm just basically sticking it in the water to get it damp again. So that paint's still remaining in there, what's left. And so that kind of helps me know. I only clean my brush really, really well when I'm done using it with that, whatever color I'm using it on that. And this takes a couple coats as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if this is the shading color for the uniform blue, but it's what I use. But I do go over it a couple times, sometimes even 3, depending on the look I'm after. So I guess that's kind of today's tip of the day. If you're using a flat brush to shade that has dark bristles and you're trying to put on a dark color, when you dip your brush in the water, don't rub the paint off, just dip it in, kind of dampen it off, and you'll still see that paint on there. So you know what side of your brush to dip in the paint. Like that one side needs a little bit darker. And then I like to let those dry really, really good. And then I'll go back and do the top and then around the bottom. Because if I don't, I'm going to be wiping off the paint. So either let them dry naturally, or if you have one of those dryers, use that. I think, I hope I got it right. Thought for a second I shaded on the wrong side. Not that I don't think it would matter, because I always make my score lines significantly smaller when you have to glue something. So it would have covered up. I think I'll hit this one more time. I just kind of like to wrap around that bottom. That's how I do that. And when I float like this, I do get paint on my edges. Just take a wet wipe and wipe them off. I'm running out of water. So I'm trying to blend this float with my brush. Okay. I think this is good enough. I'm happy with it. All right, I think we'll start gluing this and put it together. And I'm going to try my best to get this listed today. Just got to take some photos and create my listing. That's too much glue. That'll be slip sliding away. Something else you could do with these firecrackers, if you have some really thin twine, you could somehow glue a piece of twine on one end, kind of represent a fuse. That's something you can do. But just look how that red, white, and blue goes together. It just, It's just the perfect combination. It's just so patriotic and rustic, very antique. I just absolutely love this color combination. That's why this blue is the perfect blue. It's the perfect blue. Absolutely love it. And I hope this white won't be too, I hope it doesn't stand out too much. I'm going to have to really look at that before I glue it. So I'm going to go with everything else first. And then just sit it there and see what I think. I mean, it sticks out. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, I'm just going to go with it. Whoa. Whoa. Little glue on my fingers. That ain't good. Need a little bit more glue. That was overkill. Yeah, I think that's a good combination. It's dark enough, but not too dark. I'm just using my Q-tip only because I have an abundance of glue out. just not a wasteful individual. Well, that didn't take long to dry. And then I just think placing this in the middle just adds extra character. You don't have to do it, but I think it adds something. I mean, this will be part of the kit, but you just have to decide if you want to use it. And I'm loving this. Really, really loving this. So this will insert into the bench, or you can insert it into the stand, whichever you prefer. And then, like I said, I'm going to string these together off camera. This is going to hang from the bench. And I'm loving this. It's what I wanted. It's the look I was going for, and I absolutely love it. And I'm really thinking about using some of these elements, turning them into some shelf sitters, maybe on a bigger scale. Definitely the sign, I think. And what I'll do is I'll create an easel for the back of it. I love that hat. I'll probably do an easel with the back of that. Need to rethink how to do the bottom. And I will be making the Uncle Sam a little bit taller. And I think this would actually be adorable for a tier tray. So I might be shrinking it down and doing that, and maybe adding like some red, white, and blue fireworks that stand straight up, and having a fuse go off of it. And then maybe throwing out some stars that you can stand here and there in your tray. So I don't know if I would do 5 banners. I'd have to see. Because sometimes I think, it can be actually too much. So I might just, go with 3. I don't know yet. So, but this completes the 4th of July insert for the interchangeable bench. And I absolutely love it. And I can't wait to get my photos taken and get this listed. So, thank you for joining me. I may be on next week. I'm not for sure. What I will be doing is I have a Uncle Sam insert set for my interchangeable window. And it's going to be adorable. So that's going to be my next thing. And then I'm going to start designing and things for fall, Halloween, and Christmas. I think I'm done with the summer. I might do a bench insert like for summer or beach. I've thought about that, but I'm not for sure. So, but I'm going to start working towards Halloween and Christmas. And I was really hoping to create some Christmas tree ornaments. I don't know if I'll get to that. I'm very meticulous when I design. I don't throw things together. It's just, not how I roll, period. So it takes me a little bit longer to do things than others, but I'm okay with that because I put a lot of thought in my designs and drawing them, and that's just how I am. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. You folks have a wonderful weekend and a great week next week, and I may see you next weekend. Who knows? Until then, take care. Bye-bye.